one race to go. We've got the Hamilton-Verstappen. We saw the Hamilton-Verstappen from Lightbody and Harkema in that race as they both went off the circuit trying to fight each other. And we've got neck and neck on points as we come into the final race of the season. Here we go then for the final race of FRS TCC. The grid seems a little funky, but maybe we can just live with it and get this thing underway. There is a chance of rain here if you look at the forecast in the top right of your screen. As we come up to the line, it's Hofsty and Manning at the front. The two cars to look for are Harkema and Lightbody. We are underway for the final time in TCC, and Harkema already looking to get his nose in between a couple of cars. Very, very late on the brakes into turn one. It is a great start for the championship leader. Harkema already up to third place. What a start from the American. Just full send into turn one, and Lightbody has it all to do now. Here we come up the hill. So it's Hofsty on the inside. There's Manning on the outside. Lightbody is alongside Carigli. And that's Actonese ahead of them as well. Lightbody looks to have had a good run there. The top two are still side by side. In fact, no, Manning's lost a position. Harkema's got ahead of Manning. And Lightbody has to stick this out. Actonese is in the wall on the inside. So Lightbody is up into fifth place. That's Brad Spitt ahead. Harkema is up into second position already. Fighting Hofsty for the lead. This is an unbelievable start. Lightbody needs to clear Brad Spitt almost immediately because Harkema is on fire. Here we come through Skyline and the Dipper for the first time in this final race. Lightbody caught up in this group. Needs to get past Brad Spitt. He's losing so much time. Stuck behind the German driver. He's going to have to send this at some point. Very, very soon. Harkema doesn't have the lead yet. And actually is under a little bit of pressure from Manning now. But Lightbody needs to get this move done. He's already losing the best part of a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds, stuck behind. It's 2.7 seconds, the gap. Of course, Brad Spitt is entitled to be there. He's running his own race. Lightbody's going to send it to the inside now. He needs to get this done. He knows it. And there's contact. And Lightbody's round. And it's contact with Carigli. And Tracy has run into Lightbody. And maybe that is it all over already. Maybe that is the end of everything already. Tom Lightbody now down at the back of the field. He's in, I think, 9th position. What a disaster, and it was not his fault. I think it was Carigli who was too late on the brakes. And he ran into both Lightbody and he ran into Brad Spitt as well. Both those drivers put to the back of the field. Up at the front, Harkema doesn't need to get past Hofsty. He just needs to finish ahead of Lightbody. No mistakes and Harkema will be champion. There's a huge gap back to Conor McDermott of 8 seconds. There's a slide from Manning. Did he save that? Well, very, very slowly he did. I mean, surely now Harkema, he can afford to sit behind Hofsty. He doesn't need to pass him. There's such a large gap behind. He will consider, if he can get ahead of the Dutch driver, that he's got an open road and nothing to stop him. If he's stuck behind a John Lemon Trophy driver, who, by the way, John Lemon Trophy champion, Hofsty in the lead of this race, just ahead of champion-elect Harkema. But if he can get ahead, then surely that's going to be that. He can just manage his own race. And it is heartbreak for Lightbody. It's the point I made in the build-up that there was so much risk in having to come from the midfield. There's so many cars around you that all it takes is one of them to mess up, and it can ruin your championship. And that is unfortunately what has happened. He's still showing good pace, Lightbody. He's catching Sumner ahead of him. But surely within 15 minutes, it is going to be far too much work to do. He needs a miracle. Here's Lightbody now. He's behind Sumner. He'll probably clear the British driver fairly quickly. In fact, Sumner's moving out of the way to let his teammate through. So Lightbody improves up into 8th position. But at the moment, it's looking like Neon Falcon Racing. Of course, Hofstee is a Team Eurotech driver. So he is going to defend this for his life, for his teammate. The longer Hofstee can hold Harkima there, the better a job he's doing for his team. It's the Sergio Perez role now for the Dutch driver. Of course, you can't do anything dangerous. There's Manning onto the grass there. But I think Harkima will probably realise he doesn't need to risk this. Like, Harkima is a full... Lightbody is a full 15 seconds back or so. It doesn't matter if Harkima finishes 4th in this race. As long as he's ahead of Lightbody, he wins. They came into this one neck and neck on points. What sort of progress is Lightbody making? Well, it's full steam ahead for the Scotsman, but he's got 5.7 seconds to make up just to Prune Tracy, and we know that Prune Tracy's quick. And we know that Actonese is quick. And we know that McDermott is quick. So these drivers he has to catch they're not slouches by any stretch. Hofstee doing a good job here. We've not seen a John Lemon Trophy driver win a race outright, but Hofstee is lapping well. 2:24.4 is as good as anybody on the circuit except Carigli and McDermott at the moment. But Harkima's looking menacing behind us now, isn't he? Hofstee determined to hold that inside line. Harkima to the outside. How aggressive does the American want to be? Hofstee's gone a little wide. And that might give Harkima the run as we come up the hill towards the cutting. And Harkima's on the outside. And he's going to try and send it, and he's through! And Harkima takes the lead. What a great move around the outside. Hofstee was very, very fair there. He didn't try to run him off the road. But Harkima now leads this race and is surely in pole position to win this championship. That's where McDermott has got past Carigli. I think Carigli's made a mistake at some point because he was lapping well. He was the fastest man on track on the previous lap, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. Now McDermott, into the inside barrier and then into the outside wall. Oh, and Carigli doing the same thing. Well, there you go. That is the sort of thing that might help Tom Lightbody out, because that is heavy, heavy damage to Gianluca Carigli's car. He's in the wall again, and Actonese goes through. So that might give Lightbody one place, but with Harkima now in the lead, realistically, the only chance that Lightbody's got is if that brake pedal fails, and that will be the thing that we'll still have Harkima sweating here. We know he's driving with a broken brake pedal. And his first lap suggested as much. The first lap from Harkima was outstanding. He was much more patient in getting past Hofstee. Hofstee's not letting him go, by the way. And he's still in this fight. Joe Manning is beginning to creep up on the pair in the background as well, having a much better race this time round. Possibly now that the championship is out of reach and the pressure's gone. But
we are halfway through, not over yet.
Jasper Hofstee will try to do his teammate a favour here. Kriegli into the pits, so light body improves to 7th position. Sumner is in the pits to retire the car. Here's Actonese and Tracy nose to tail. Actonese, of course, has a chance to take 3rd place from Joe Manning in the championship. But with Manning in 3rd and Actonese in 5th place, that is not going to happen as it stands. Lightbody really is catching this pair at a rate of knots, but of course, he needs to catch the leader, which in 9 minutes is surely a nigh-on impossibility. Forest elbow again, and Harkima's now extending this gap to what looks like it's well over a second now, back to Hofstee in 2nd place. This will be the bit he's scared about, getting the car slowed at the exit of the chase here. Brake pedal working nicely that time. Gap at the front, 1.6 seconds. Hofstee now beginning to fall back into the clutches of Joe Manning. Still that fight between Actonese and Tracy going on. We've got the fastest lap of the race now set by Connor McDermott, who, now that he's not having technical gremlins, is producing a rather good race right now. Oh, Tracy quite a bit later on the brakes than Actonese. But Actonese covering the inside line well. His cars feel so sluggish up the hill. Bit out of shape ahead of us, but ultimately carrying a bit more speed than Prune Tracy through this area of the circuit. That's light body just behind. Further up the road, Manning is making ground on Hofstee as Harkima builds up a 3-second lead. Here goes Manning, moving his way up into 2nd position. And that is an important move for the Teams Championship because, of course, Team Eurotech needed to finish ahead of CBA Team KRO here. And that move from Manning. With McDermott just behind, if it stays as it is, that will absolutely secure the championship for Team Cruzo. Oh, huge amount of curb there for Manning. Bit of dirt kicked up by Harkimer as well. He's got a 3-second lead. That is more than enough right now. Actonese in 5th place. Prune Tracy in 6th. And then it's Lightbody catching, but nowhere near quickly enough. With 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. This will unfortunately be absolute torment for Tom Lightbody. Having to drive around, trying to catch up the field, knowing, no doubt, that it's Harkimer in the lead of this one. As we watch the fight again between Actonese and Tracy, but it's not even like he can try and drive to a position where 4th place would be enough. He has to finish ahead of his rival on the circuit, and he is just never, ever, ever going to make up that time without a mistake from the race leader, and Harkimer is looking serene at this stage of the race. I expect we'll have 2 more laps to go after this one. Harkimer's lead in the region of 3.5 seconds. And it's all about that brake pedal of his. Can the brake pedal hang on? Negotiated, you can see on the track map, he's negotiated the chicane again. Looking back from the car of Actonese. Prune Tracy. Tracy gets a much better run there through the chicane, and he'll consider a look to the inside, to the outside as we come into the final corner. Much, much later on the brakes than Actonese. And they're going to go side by side into Murray's. And across the line, there's nothing between them. 0.008 of a second. Prune Tracy ever so slightly ahead, but Actonese has the inside line as they come into turn 1. And the Turkish driver's lost it. And he's gone round, and Lightbody manages to get past just without making contact. And now Lightbody's right on the back of Prune Tracy. As they come up towards turn 2 once again. Manning is gaining on Harkimer at the front, but it must be said that you imagine Harkimer isn't exactly pushing as hard as he might up at the front. This is very much a case of just do not hit the wall, and you will be crowned FRS Touring Car Champion. Board with Lightbody as we come through the dipper and the S's. The Forest Elbow once again. Harkimer up at the front, losing quite a lot of time now actually to Joe Manning. He is actually going to get across the line before the time's up. So there will be 2 more laps after this one. course,
Right, man. The leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
Oh, apparently the leader's on the final lap. Okay. But we're still showing 35 seconds on the clock, and Hakim has crossed the line. But we've had the message through that this will be the final lap. So Hakima is 1 lap away from glory. Will that dodgy brake pedal hang on? I think Lightbody has actually got ahead of Prune Tracy here. He has. He's up into 5th place. But it's not going to be enough as long as Hakima continues to lead for Neon Falcon Racing. One more run through Skyline and the dipper to go, threading the needle. No mistakes, nothing silly. You see how much Manning is closing in as Hakima just takes his time here. The track is losing grip. There's a bit of moisture in the air. But we've just got a couple of corners to go now for Hakima. A driver who I first commentated on back in Season 3, Division 5 of FRS F1. He was competitive there, but he's improved so much. He's really been a strong contender in the Touring Car Championship this season. Quite obviously, because he's a few corners away from winning the championship. And he's done it all while managing an issue with his brake pedal. He's due the chicane for the final time. He's got 1 corner to go, with Joe Manning right in his mirrors. Out of the final corner comes Hakima.
The leader has finished the race.
And Hakima wins the FRS Touring Car Championship. Massive congratulations to the American driver. He has done it. And he came from a long way back in the championship. Brilliant form in the second half of the season. 4 wins in the last 3 rounds, if you like. Laguna Seca, Zolder, and Bathurst. And while there were issues for Tom Lightbody that weren't of his own fault, he was taken out on the first lap of the race. You have to say that first lap from Hakima was absolutely fantastic. He put himself at the front of the race. And he stayed there. He did all the hard work himself. And even if there'd been no issues for Lightbody, Hakima may well have had this won anyway. He deserves the celebrations and no doubt the congratulations that will come his way. He's been the best qualifier this season on the whole, I think, along with Crusoe. He's been right up at the front in qualifying. He's had a few issues with, certainly in the earlier part of the season, maybe just as he got used to the cars. There was a couple of second places, but then a few 8th, 10th, 5ths. But then ever since Zandvoort, he's really been on very strong form. Only 1 finish outside of the top 5 in what is the final, or the last 12 races of an 18-race season. It's brilliant consistency. And he fully deserves the championship. Huge congratulations to Hakima and Neon Falcon Racing. The final championship standings looking like this. It's Hakima who is the FRS TCC champion. 7 points the difference in the end, back to Tom Lightbody, who will be a little bit gutted with that one, you have to say, having been taken out. It sort of denied him the chance to even try and get after Hakima there and make a fight of it. But that unfortunately is motorsport. Sometimes it can be a cruel game. Joe Manning finishes 3rd. And again, just his form in the second half of the season fell off a cliff ever since the 2nd and 3rd races in Zandvoort, really. So we'll hopefully be able to come back stronger next time. Gherkin Actonese, a very comfortable 4th in the end, actually, because Williams didn't make it to the last event. And McDermott had issues as well, so Actonese a very comfortable 4th. And then Williams 5th, McDermott 6th in the end. Sumner in 7th, Booth 8th, and then Carregli 9th. And Brad Spitt gets a top 10 championship standings finish. Despite not having pace, sometimes turning up is as good as anything. So there we go. That is it for me, and that is it for us from FRS TCC. It's been a lot of fun. I think big thank you to Cruzo, first and foremost, for all of the organisation running the show this season, and producing some stellar drives as well at various points. So huge congratulations to Cruzo for the organisation. And a big thank you from me. He's not here. He's away on his honeymoon. And I hope he's enjoying that. But a big thank you to Dan, who co-commentated with me for a significant chunk of the season. And added a lot of very, very useful insight and thoughts and opinions to proceedings. That's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the season. It'll all be available on the YouTubes once I get it all uploaded, and then it will be forever immortalized on the internet. And who doesn't like things that are forever immortalized on the internet? But there we go. I'm going to wrap myself up there. Thank you very much for tuning in this season. If you have done, congratulations once again to Harkima, who is the FRS TCC champion. And we will be back with more FRS commentary action as soon as there is some available. Have yourselves a good rest of your weekend. Cheerio.